everything really works out. You know, you'll be driving home and something will happen. There'll be somebody trying to cross the street with a big cart full of apples or something, and everybody's stopped, and you're in this 50-car jam, and it takes you 15 minutes to get through. And then when you get home, you'll find out that just up ahead, 15 minutes further along on the road, there was this huge accident, and 8 people got killed. You know, there was a terrible thing happen. And you'd have been right in the middle of that if it hadn't been for that guy with his apple cart that held you back. And your life just goes on that way. Every day, all day long, things fall out just when you need them. And in general, part of that is that the system is trying to tell you, yes, this is what happens when you stop trying to control, when you start trying to manipulate. If you just be and grow, this is what happens. So some of it's the system, and some of it's the way you redefine things. Because now, what you would have seen as a terrible hurdle, oh no, now look, you no longer care that much about it. You say, oh, yeah, it's a problem. So, not a big deal. I'll deal with it. And you go right by it. So sometimes it's just things are arranged for you, and other times it's your own attitude that you no longer have that thing that's out of control, or that thing that's unknown doesn't frighten you anymore. Well, yeah, all right, I don't know how that'll work out, but it'll work out all right.
Welcome to Road to Billions Podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
Up, everybody. It is your host, Moise Bertrand, the Road to Billions Podcast. It's been an amazing journey, and I appreciate every last one of you guys who's been checking in. Of course, letting me know I'm doing great in life, and just being a great inspiration to me. And I definitely appreciate you guys who's been doing that and showing that love. For a lot of you guys, and people who don't know, my birthday was just September 11 and all that good stuff. Happy birthday to me, belated birthday to me. For those who didn't get a chance to say it, I understand. I didn't make it a big deal. I didn't really tell people it was my birthday because this year was a little bit more, how could I put this, spiritual for me. I've been dealing with a lot as far as this real estate life. Now as I'm scaling up, there's a lot more things that I'm dealing with, responsibilities, and just dealing with people who are just not in the same frequency as me that I still have to deal with. And you might be like, damn, Mo, why do you still have to deal with them? Just because some of these people are just in the business, right? It's just something you just can't avoid. And, my birthday was one of those days where I just really wanted to wind down, because this whole year I was supposed to go on 3-4 different trips, and I had to cancel all my trips for the fact that I couldn't work with people who were responsible, who weren't trustworthy, who weren't accountable, who weren't just hard working, and I got tired of it. I got tired of working with these type of people, and these people just, they failed me in a lot of places, which ultimately slowed me down in some areas, but it taught me so much. I always think I know a lot, right? And it's not until I go through some shit that I figure some new shit out, some new information, some new knowledge. And it's those very reasons why I'm thankful that I have God in my corner and a lot of supporters, because when I'm working as an entrepreneur, every day is a grind day, right? I don't look at a day where I could just sit down and chill, because I still have to get things paid for. I still have invoices to take care of, employees that, I'm not going to say I have employees, but I have subcontractors who obviously have their employees to pay, right? And I have to be responsible enough to put my hat on and be like, okay, Moise, let's figure this shit out. And it's a lonely road, it's a lonely process, especially when you take shit like this serious, right? Because I have a big heart and I want to see everybody win, and I try to hire everybody, and doing so hurt me so bad, just hiring people just to get some money, right? Because they're saying, hey, I could do this, and I give them money and the job isn't complete to my liking. And I'm a cool person. I'm so understanding. I'm so chill. So I understand sometimes things may happen, like a family emergency, or, you may not be feeling well today. You feel me? I say today because the next day is a choice, right? Sometimes the first day when you have the worst type of flu is the worst day. But the second day, you kind of move around a little bit. You kind of went through that purging phase that first day, right? So if you can't come to work the second day, I understand. But then we have days where people just don't want to come to work, or people are just prolonging the work for no reason. And I kind of sat back this year and I realized I have to make a lot of adjustments, not only to my circle, but to those who I work with in business and hire, right? And that's what my birthday showed me. I turned 28. Shout out to God. He definitely saved me from a lot of circumstances that if I wasn't thoughtful or very much in the religion of faith, and believing in Christ, I would not be here sitting and talking to you guys. I always try to put God first, and I always let you guys know that. And that was one of the things I kind of sat down and I spoke to him about, just having a lot on my plate. But I can't complain. I can't complain about having a lot of shit on my plate when the whole point of me of being an entrepreneur was to have freedom and to eat, right? I can't complain about a lot of shit on my plate. I got to eat. So with that comes a lot of responsibilities. And then, I try to break things down. I try to give myself grace. Okay, cool, Moise, you did this and did that. Some people right now that, they will wish they were where I'm at, right? And I'm constantly striving and trying to get better at what I do, that sometimes I don't realize my progress or my progression or my accomplishments or my success, right? People be like, you have a nice car and everything. I sit back and I'm like, yeah, I just always wanted this car. I'm grateful that I was able to afford it, but I'm not worrying about the car anymore, right? I remember you guys were probably did hear this episode when I was like, I finally got my car, and I was so ecstatic. And I feel like that's everybody who got a new car. It's been a year with my car now. So now I kind of like got used to it in a sense, got comfortable with it. I still love my car. I feel like this is one of my dream cars ever since I was little. So for me to be able to have it as a possession now, I went through it all, right? I gassed it. I went fast. I did everything you could think of, drifted a little bit, everything, just fucking around. And I kind of got used to the car, right? And when you get used to things, you sit on it for a while. And then it's not until you run into something else that you might want it. You're like, damn, okay, I got my car, but what's next now? I know people don't stop at this. Like, I know if I feel like this is more to life, right? It's like purchasing a yacht. The person who's looking at you purchase a yacht, like, damn, this motherfucker got so much money. But your whole objective was not to purchase a yacht yet, but to have your own private jet. And there's some people who have private jets who wish they could purchase a yacht. So it's like, I'm not saying comparison. I'm not telling everybody to be comparison and not enjoy your blessings. All I'm saying is more to life than we actually see and actually know. And we should enjoy that. And we should actually take favor in the things we have in life and not be so materialistic, but very realistic and goal-oriented. Because I feel like God put possessions that man want on this earth. He just tell you don't worship them. Like, don't fall in love with materialistic things. And that's real. Like, if my car burns up, God forbid, I won't sit there and be like, oh fuck. Like, I'll sit there for a while and do that. But, at the end of the day, I'll be like, well, it's probably a reason why God did this. Because I blame everything on God. I mean, for the most part, you feel me? Because I feel like he put circumstances in your way to see how much you will rely on him or how much of a person you are. And I remember distinctively in the movie Joker, it talked about just people are who they really are when they have nothing, when they're at their lowest. And that's when you really realize what type of person they are, right? Or what type of person you are. And I try to tell everybody all the time, like, things are here for us to accomplish and just get rid of it, right? You accomplished whatever you want to accomplish. Some people is money. Some people is family life. Some people is buying a home. Some people's a car. Some people's love. Some people's finally be able to lose weight. Whatever you want to accomplish in life is realistic. But all I'm saying is when you accomplish it, set some new goals. Bask in your success first and your accomplishments, then set some new ones. Okay, you went ahead and lost weight, right? Now, what's the next step after you lost weight? You have to keep that up. You're going to tell yourself, I'm going to eat 6 months straight. Now I know I've been I lost weight, but I was still eating a little junk food. But now these next 6 months, I'm only going to eat plant-based diet foods and only going to eat good nutritional foods, right? And you make a vow to yourself to not eat no sugars, not eat no white bread, keep the calories really down, and, really have more protein intake and carbohydrates. And you want to really take advantage of the lifestyle that you're creating, because a lot of people will wish they had your lifestyle. A lot of people will wish they were able to accomplish and stay disciplined as you, and whatever you do. And I tell people, discipline is how you make riches. It's not being smarter than somebody else. Because I know a lot of smart people who now they don't know what to do with their life. Like, they still scrambling around. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like everybody has that it factor in them, right? Everybody has it. I'm telling you guys, everybody who's listening to this podcast, you have something about you that makes you very special. Because I remember I was in elementary and shit, and it was motivational speakers that used to come to the class, and every time in the auditorium, they used to sit there, and I felt like they were talking to me, honestly. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why I talk back to you guys in this limelight, and it's also with this energy, because when they imputed stuff like, one of you guys, all of you guys in here, they didn't say one of you guys, I'm sorry, all of you guys in here have something special about you. And whatever you do with your life, you make sure you work around what makes you special. And it was a white guy that said that. I forgot his name. I forgot how he looked. It's just a blur. But I remember the stage in the cafeteria, elementary stage is still in the cafeteria type vibes. And, he was just up there talking. I was sitting up there like, damn. And then I realized I might be different from a lot of these other kids too. Because I was in gifted classes, and I used to get pulled out the class and go taken to other, I would say laboratories or some shit, like children's factory, where they took smart kids and they put us in rooms, and we had to like put together building blocks, and they gave us little graphs, and they took us to trips and field trips that the other kids didn't go to. Like, we were like exceptional students, and I got exceptional help sometimes from teachers, because they sat there and it was like, you different from a lot of kids. And I sat there and I was like, damn, I might be really different. Like, nigga, I am different. Shit, now that I'm realizing it, I'm far, different from a lot of people. And what makes me different is I'm okay with embracing my weirdness. I'm okay with embracing the things that make me different, right? And that's what makes me special. But, to repeat what I was saying, yeah, he was talking to us, and he was like, everybody has something special about them. And I want to say the same thing to you guys, because some of you guys could cook, clean, sing, shit, paint, draw, goddamn design, you feel me? Create. These are things that people are looking for in the outside world, in the everyday world, that you're keeping hitting somewhere in your life. You was like, that's a past version of myself. Yeah, I know how to draw, but I don't draw no more. What are you talking about? You don't draw no more. I tell people all the time, do you know God gave everybody something about them that will make them stable? You don't, and I always tell people, like, I don't want to talk about riches all day, because not everybody's goal is to be rich. Some people's goal is to be stable. And stability doesn't have to be $100,000. Stability could be $500,000 a year. You feel me? 700,000, 900,000 in income. Stable, 1 million, you feel me? But some people say $1 million ain't rich. Man, I look at everything above shit, whatever I came up with, whatever I grew up with is rich. You feel me? At my point in life. So that's the way I look at money. And everything about us, man, is something that makes us special. You could probably do hair really good, makeup really good, give really great advice, speak, filmmaking, video, anything that everybody does nowadays for a career. Somebody's really made for that career, right? A nurse sometimes isn't probably the best of nurses, because she probably just there for the aesthetics and the pay. But it's somebody who's a real nurse out there who really wants to be a nurse but couldn't go to nursing school due to the fact that they probably had a child or whatever happened in life. And they really have the heart for people, but they just can't get into the program, whether they work a job now or just, like I said, it's inaccessible to them. And that's an unfortunate thing, but they can still revolve their lives around helping people, is what I'm saying, right? God doesn't just put you on a job title. He give you the job skills, right? He gives you the life skills. He gives you the requirements. He doesn't say, hey, Mo, you're a real estate investor only for the rest of your life. No, Mo, you're a great communicator. You're a great negotiator. You get me? You could paint a picture that a lot of people can only imagine from words. As you speak, people listen. As you speak, people understand. As you speak, people process. You get me? You have a way of making people feel comfortable. And that's why I feel as if I'm a great businessman. And business falls under anything in life, right? So that's skills that I realize I have. I'm a person who thinks in a way where it's profitable, right? I foresee things in a way where people might say, you sure? And I'm like, am I sure? Okay, well, let me do this real quick, and if it works out, I'm gonna charge you for it because you ain't believe in me. How about that? You ain't want to split the risk with me. You get me? I'm that type of person. I'm gonna take the chance. And a lot of people need somebody like me, a thoughtful leader. And I'm okay with being a person who takes the L's to show other people sometimes. Well, I'm not okay with all the time taking the L's, but I'm okay with taking the first step, if that makes sense, to show people, hey, listen, you could do whatever you want to do in life. And, I tell people all the time, everybody has a skill set in them that changes their way of living and thinking. It could change in a split second. And that was one of the reasons why I put that intro in the beginning, because we and let me not even talk about us. Let's talk about me, right? Me being a person I am, I'm so built on perfectionism, right? I'm so built on quality. I'm so built on timing. And, it hurts a lot when I can't have the control. When I try to control things and it makes it, what I would say, worse. You know what I say? You know what I mean? So when I look at things in a such, I'm like, man, like, you know what? Fuck this. I ain't gonna control it no more. It works out. But when I sit there and I try to put things together and I sit there and I think for hours and I try to move this person here and I tell this person what to do and this person don't want to listen, I get an attitude and this person gets the attitude back with me, I get mad, right? And I be like, damn, Mo. It's not that I get mad because the person don't want to listen to me. I get mad because I'm trying to control the situation that, I can't control. Right? And I try my best to control all the situations. And you might be like, control how? Like people? No, I try to control the situation itself. Like, what is going on in this situation right now? If I know I could fix the situation, the person around it is going to fall, I will believe in line, right? And that's an inverse thinking because it's not that way. You have to fix the person and fix whatever communication errors you guys are having, and that will fix the situation. Right? So then I realized, okay, let me just do that. So in the midst of me saying, I don't care no more, I don't give a fuck, things just start falling in my lap. It was not until recent again I started getting in this little controlling phase again, just a couple of weeks ago, because my rehab projects, things weren't moving how I needed to move, right? I had one guy fuck up, like he planned to come and he was pushing me back a week or 2 weeks, and that just fucked up so much information with my other guys in communication to a point where they didn't even want to work for real no more. So I had to convince them to come back, got them working. Now, they still have a little bit of outside jobs that they're doing, right? So then the outside jobs they're doing is kind of hindering with my jobs. So I'm trying to tell people, hey, listen, bro, I'll pay you feel me, just to stop what you're doing and come rock with me. And they're like, hey, we loyal to our client. I'm like, listen, I understand you have a client you're loyal to, but I need this done to pass inspection. And, that kind of hurt me a lot because it made me pay more a little bit. And then the work still wasn't good sometimes. And that's what got me mad, because I was like, man, I paid all this extra bread for bullshit, right? And I just started realizing, like, just yesterday, I'm just going to stop controlling shit. Like, and then I just heard this audio this morning, which I put as the intro. And I was like, you know what? I think this message is for me. So when I speak into this podcast today, in this episode, this is not for none of you guys. This is literally for me. You get me? Because I have to heal that controlling mechanism I have about myself. Not because I want to be this person who rules and leads everybody and everybody follows my vision, but in a way where I feel like I have to let people be themselves, right? I have to love people unconditionally. I have to let people be who they are. And if I want to deal with it, I have to opportunity to move away from it. I don't have to try to fix it just because I rock with the person, right? I can't change a person's situation, mindset, attitude, behavior, no matter what I do. I can't do it. And a lot of people may forgive me. A lot of people forgave me because I told them straight up, listen, I'm not trying to come at you wrong. I'm not trying to come at you sideways, but what you did was wrong in my eyes. And I be feeling like what I say most of the time is like real. You know, I don't try to sugarcoat shit with people. And that's why I feel like people don't really like me sometimes. But I'm like, hey, I don't really care if you like me or not. I have to tell you what you need to hear, right? Not what you want to know. Because if I'm telling you what you know, want you to know, I'm not a real friend. I'm not a real mentor. I'm not a real business partner. Yeah, bro, you fucked up. You fucked up because you didn't check in with me first. You fucked up because you're running your mouth too much to other people. You fucked up because you want to go ahead and know everybody's business. And now people end up telling you some shit you didn't want to hear, and it ruins your relationship with whoever you had dealings with, and boom. Now you're looking at me sideways because you want me to fix everything. But things got fucked up because you want to run your mouth. And I tell people, you get mad at other dude getting paid more than you because what? Because you feel like you did more work. But we had to go back 3-4 times on your particular jobs just to get it done the first time. He come out, done. So we paying him for his experience and quality. We paid you because we was on a budget, but it seems as if like us paying you on a budget did more harm than good to us, right? So then I tell people these things and they get mad at me. I'm like, bro, I'm not here to tell you nothing that I don't want you to learn from. I'm learning too. I should have learned not to hire your ass, right? In my head, I should have learned not to hire your ass. But I'm going to tell you straight up, it's okay, bro. It's okay. It's fine, right? So I just started this telling myself, man, Mo, don't even stress too much about it. Because me stressing so much, you guys, I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit, and I'm about to end this podcast. I'm gonna tell you guys something I never tell nobody. My face was glass, right? Last year, I was going through like a lot of health things, right? Last year, I was just going through a lot of health shit. I was just dehydrated a lot of the times. My body was like fighting off. I don't know, bro. Like I was just going through a fucked up year last year. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. And in the sense of that, bro, like I was like, man, let me change my diet, right? Let me just change my diet and everything. So I changed my diet. So me changing my diet, I pretty much, yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys some real shit. The doctors were pretty much trying to say I was pre-diabetic, right? My dad had diabetes type 2 and shit like that. So I was like, fuck, man, I ain't trying to catch on diabetes because I was realizing when I was eating sugary shit or when I wasn't, I was shaking. Like I was real life trembling a little bit. And I was like, what the fuck? Like it was like some tremor shit. And then, you know, I eventually like changed my whole diet because I was realizing my skin was looking dull, however you say it. I don't know, dull, whatever. That was looking crazy. I had dark bags under my eyes, bro. And I don't know what the hell was going on, bro. I was eating right and everything. No, I wasn't eating right. Let me not even lie. I was eating horribly, but I didn't have bad like outcomes of me eating horribly, if that makes sense. And I believe me getting older done caught up to me because now I'm very much monitoring everything I eat. Like I'll eat some, I would say soul food a little bit, but I'll be very moderate. Like I'll cheat probably once a month on it. You feel me? Eat once a month on it, cheat day. But shout out to Nisi on that, you know, feel me? She be rocking, doing her thing. But anyways, yeah, bro, the doctor was like, you could be pre-diabetic if you keep fucking around and eating shit that you're not supposed to be eating. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, white bread, sugar. And I was like, damn, this them sugary shit because I love Twix and I love goddamn candy. So I don't even eat candy and sugar shit no more, bro. The last time I ate some candy was like a few days ago, but shit, I had to drink like 3 bottles of water to make sure I diluted all that sugar, you feel me? But yeah, I was going through a hard time with that, so I kind of made a lifestyle adjustment, and I started drinking like 5 to 8 bottles of water a day, changed my diet completely, my skin completely turned glass. Like I was waking up in the morning and I thought I still had moisturizer. Well, I had moisturizing the day before, but it's a different type of glass skin. If you look at my photos right now on Instagram, you can kind of tell, right? Glass skin, bro, just immaculate. And I fucked around and I started getting lazy again, and I started eating bullshit, right? Started eating bullshit. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, what day, what time, what month. I just now see my face like I'm just now working on getting my skin back to like normalcy. You feel me? There's a lot of hyperpigmentation scars on my face right now, so I'm going through a lot of products to see which one's best. I've been going through shit for like 2-3 months. You feel me? Trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this shit under control, because I do feel like it's a little bit more so contributing to stress. You get me? My cortisol levels, I believe that's what's dealing with. I believe that's what's relative to that, cortisols. I think I'm saying it wrong. Cortisols. Yeah, I think that's what's relative to the word stress and everything. But what I'm trying to say is it's easier to just tell myself, you know what, Mo? Instead of blaming it on stress, let's completely make a complete 360, right? So I just started now changing my diet from everything you could think of, like how people eat, like vegans. I'm eating just like that now. Especially with me boxing and everything now. Like they told me straight up, you can't be eating shit that's going to slow you down because it's going to show up in the ring. Like you can't play boxing. You can't play that shit. You will get hurt. So however you show up in your private life, that's how you're going to show up in the real world. And I felt like I let myself go a little bit because I was just so focused on real estate and just had my head in the ground, just pushing to a point where I'm going to sleep late nights and I'm eating bullshit because I'm on a computer doing rehab budgets and putting together plans and, putting together plays, and I'm standing there like, damn, I got to go to sleep, and I'm eating bullshit at night. So now I done made a change to myself and told myself as a vow, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not putting myself through the stress of accepting other people problems. That's facts. We're not going to do that. Your problems is yours to deal with. My problems is mine. And if we have a problem together, we deal with it. And I'm no longer trying to control situations. Like I just let people and things be as such. Like if shit not going as I wanted it to be, I feel like God has a bigger plan for me. I feel like he's going to, some way, somehow, he always figures it out for me. Always works itself out. And that's why I'm confident in, and that's why I have faith in. And then lastly, of course, just changing the diet, just making sure I'm eating more healthier and being more accountable for the things I could be accountable for, and not dealing with people who are pessimistic, negative, and just not accountable. So I want to appreciate everybody who, like I said before, when I turned 28, man, I got a lot of birthday wishes for the people who, we probably didn't speak on my birthday. We probably didn't have a chance to, lock in. I know if you probably would have said happy birthday to me, I want to say thank you. You feel me? At the end of the day, even though you didn't know. And for the people who we don't rock together, I hope you're still doing well in life. I have no bad blood in my spirit for nobody. I feel like everybody's not even in my peripheral. I'm just in my own lane, at the end of the day. So I'm 28. I feel really good about myself. I feel like this is going to be a year where things are just going to work out tremendously for me, which it will. And in that sense, I feel like everybody's going to witness greatness. This is one of the years I'm going to post a lot more about the things I've been going through as far as real estate and just entrepreneurship, and just giving you guys better insight about more deeper and, conscious thinking conversations. So other than that, man, I appreciate you guys tremendously for listening, staying tuned, staying as dedicated listeners, subscribers, everything you just want to call yourself. And I just want to say thank you, man. You guys are a big family. And for everybody who's been checking up on me over the last couple of weeks, I want to say thank you as well. So once again, I appreciate you guys for listening to Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey. If you haven't already, rate, review, subscribe to the podcast, and listen to other episodes as well. Put God first. Thank you.